Asked to do a more serious video on the sewage that's dumped all over New York State. The partially treated sewage and the leaching septic all around Lake George, and the partially treated septic and the leaching sewage all around the Great Lakes, and all the partially treated and untreated sewage that's dumped in the Hudson River and Lake Champlain. Now, Chuck Schumer and Governor Cuomo and Donald Trump and the EPA and the Department of Health and Human Services and every health expert in the whole country knows that New York State has got a big virus problem. Great big huge virus problem. In fact, it's been rated as the worst in the world today. And you got to ask yourself a question. Is all that partially treated sewage spreading the sickness? How about that, Governor Cuomo? Let's talk about partially treated sewage and all that leaching septic leachate that's getting all the lakes and the streams and the creeks and the rivers and the water table. How about that Mayor Bob Blaze of Lake George, New York? John Stroh, the supervisor for the town of Queensbury, New York? How about that Saranac Lake Health Department there at old Essex County in the state of New York's health department? What about all this partially treated sewage that's going in all the rivers, the creeks, and the lakes? And the groundwater, it's going in the water table too. So to my pals and my friends all over the United States, ask yourself a question. What about all the partially treated sewage that's going into our rivers and lakes? Andy Cuomo, the ball is in your court. And let's see, David Wick and Roger Smith at the Lake George Park Commission. Why are you flushing Lake George? Why does New York get to flush Lake George into the Lachute River down to Ticonderoga at Lake Champlain? To flush it of all the partially treated my butt, the sewage, the raw sewage. They dump raw sewage into the Lachute River. And whole bunches of raw sewage goes into the Hudson River, the Lake Champlain, Lake George, the Finger Lakes, the St. Lawrence Seaway, the Richelieu River. Let's see. The Great Lakes, Ontario, Erie, Michigan, Superior, they're all getting raw sewage dumped in them. Now what gives? Donald John Trump.